Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Matías. I'm your trusted advisor for everything related to getting a second residency or citizenship by investment. In today's video, we're going to be touching base once again with Portugal. We have a lot of updates regarding this very special program. We have a lot of changes coming, especially with the discussions taking place this October 2025 regarding potential changes to the law. I think is very interesting to touch base once again with this program and see where things start. So with this said, let's get started. Okay, so let's start with the agenda. First of all, I'm going to be talking about me. Who am I? How can I help you? After this, what is your unique journey to global freedom? And why is it different to every single investor and family out there? Then, after this, I'm going to be talking a little bit of why is it interesting to having a EU residency and a EU citizenship, and why Portugal is special for EU citizenship, especially. After this, briefly going through our country index at Holborn, and then why is Portugal so special, and the reason that it's the #1 program and the most popular within our clients, besides of being one of the slowest and not the cheapest, but for very good reasons. And yes, after this, we're going to be finishing off with the applicable investments this October 2025 and the best products right now that we are recommending our clients, and finishing off with a timeline and how to get started and all of the potential changes to the law. So stay tuned till the very end. Okay, so about me, I am Matías Aguayo. I am originally from Chile. I've been living in Portugal for the last couple of years. I do have a Chilean and Spanish citizenship. I will have my Portuguese citizenship in roughly 2 more years. So I'm going to be holder of 3 citizenships, hopefully one day. I'm a partner in the Citizenship by Investment department at Holborn Assets, and I am the head of the Greece Golden Visa program, which is another Golden Visa program that I really think is one of the best, and I always recommend to my clients, but for different reasons in Portugal. I've been in the investment migration industry for over 3 years now, and I'm a firm believer that some countries are objectively better than others. Coming from South America, I've seen this firsthand, and I really believe that everyone should have the right to seek better opportunities and safety for their families. Have a passion for global freedom and security, and as well as helping others and other families achieve what I have accomplished for myself. So yes, your country of birth should never dictate how you choose to live. Excellent. So Holborn is a global financial services and wealth management company. And it is a larger company that has a specific department in relation to investment migration and golden visas. But this Holborn Pass is part of a larger company called Holborn Assets. It's established in 98 with 20 international offices, over 500 employees, over 3 billion in assets under management, over 20,000 clients worldwide, and over 1,000 of them being Golden Visa clients with a 100% client approval rate. This has made us become one of the most respected names in investment migration worldwide, and especially in Portugal, where we proudly hold over 10% of the market share, and we're the #1 players for this very special program. Okay, so citizenship and residency by investment. This means when an investor contributes to a foreign economy, this can be real estate, donation, business funds, etc., in exchange for their residency or direct citizenship. The most common direct citizenship are the Caribbean islands or Turkey, in which you invest and you get the passport and the citizenship and passport in a direct fashion. Residency by investment, as the name says, you would get residency and then you can move from residency to citizenship after complying for X number of years, usually 5, 6, 7, or even 10, of holding the residency and complying with the minimum stay requirements. Europe has no longer direct citizenship by investment. If you want to go for EU citizenship, you do have to pass through residency by investment. And of course, as I was telling you, most of these programs do require a relocation if you want to change from residency to citizenship, such as Latvia, Hungary, Greece, Italy, and so on. Portugal is the only country within Europe. We're going to talk a little bit about this in a bit. but Portugal is the only country in Europe in which you can pass from residency to citizenship without physical relocation. Only a symbolic 7 days per year or 14 days every 2 years are needed, and you can get citizenship at the end of the road, which is the reason why Portugal is so interesting. As we can see, the industry has been growing steadily, almost multiplying by 10 in the last 14 years, as we can see here in the image. So very interesting. Okay, so your unique journey to global freedom. All of different countries around the world usually have 5 different ways to get their citizenship. It's either descent, birth, naturalization, marriage, or economic investment. For most people, they are not lucky enough to be able to qualify through the routes 1 to 4. So usually investment is the only possible way for those who count with this capital. Every country has its own citizenship laws and requirements for each single route, and the process is not a simple process. It's usually long, complex, and tiring. So why is the EU citizenship the most sought after citizenship status within investment migration? For most people, a ticket to global freedom would equal a EU passport. With any European Union passport, you would get visa-free or on-arrival travel to over 185 countries. So it's super well respected and positioned within the world for traveling and conducting business throughout the world. And of course, the most important thing, you would have the right to relocate, work, live, or study, or do business in any of the 27 member EU countries. You would get access to leading countries in quality of life, social security, safety, salaries, and many more. Okay, so this is the country investment index of Holborn Assets. We do work with most of the investment migration programs worldwide, both citizenship programs and residency programs. Here it's very important for you to make a special note on Portugal. As you can see here, Portugal is the only country within Europe's residency programs that you have only 5 weeks in the 5 years of physical stay time for citizenship. Every other country has you do have to relocate at least 183 days per year for 5, 7, 8, or even 10 years if you want to go from residency to citizenship. Portugal, being not the cheapest and not the fastest program in Europe, it is considered the best because of this sole reason. You can get the Portuguese and EU citizenship without physically relocating to Portugal. Okay, so this is my personal top selection of golden visas in Europe this 2025. I think these are the 4 golden visas worth noticing, each one for their own reasons. But as we can see, both Greece, Italy, and Latvia are great for residency purposes. So you can keep renewing your residency for as long as you keep the investment. And this can become a long-term solution. But of course, this is just the residency. Residency is great for having visa-free travel across Schengen. But if you do want to have a EU citizenship, pass it to your children, to your grandchildren, and future generations, being able to relocate, work, live, and study in any of the 27 member countries, a citizenship would be the end goal more than a EU residency. For this case, if you cannot relocate to a country, Portugal is not the best option, but it's the only option. For example, if you want Italian or Greek citizenship, you would have to physically relocate there for X number of years, keeping the residency if you want the citizenship. In the case of Portugal, they're only asking you for 7 days per year or 14 every 2 years, which makes the program so special. As you can see, depending on your core objective, if your core objective is the EU residency, there's a lot for you to pick. And if your core objective is the EU citizenship, you do have to go through residency by investment. And if you don't want, or if you cannot relocate, Portugal is your only option. It's really your only option to do this through a golden visa. So why is Portugal so special? It is the only program in Europe that allows you to go from residency to citizenship without the need to relocate. It is a EU member country. It has a pathway to citizenship. Investor plus your family. You can add your complete nuclear family group, including your parents and in-laws, into the same application with only one investment. It is an investment route, so it's not a donation. You can walk out at the end of the road with the EU citizenship and profits, which is something that most investors are trying to get, not only the citizenship, but a profit as well. And of course, there's no need to relocate for the citizenship. These are the 5 reasons that make Portugal the number one choice um, for most investors looking for the EU citizenship. Okay, so what has changed and why Portugal is still the number one for EU passport? Changes to the Portuguese law have eliminated the traditional €280,000 real estate investment option. Under the new regulations, investments can no longer be made into real estate directly or indirectly. Today, most people know about the standard 500K fund investment, right? Of course, you can go through, there are over 50 funds right now in the market that qualify and they are regulated for you to apply to the Golden Visa. We can help you out with this as well. But what most investors do not know is that Holborn Assets has some exclusive opportunities to lower the entry capital requirement to as low as €325,000. This is by hospitality investments. Hospitality has very predictable returns and they are able to pay upfront returns outside of Portugal, so this can be reinvested immediately into your new Portuguese account and comply with the Golden Visa requirement perfectly. Okay, so through Holborn, you can access exclusive hospitality projects that pay upfront returns, and this can lower your effective entry capital outlay. Our firm has a vast and demonstrable track record with a 100% approval rate, making us the leader in market share. Okay, so within the different routes to access the Golden Visa this 2025, well, you can see different routes on screen. I just want to focus on number 4 and number 5, which are clearly the most attractive to investors right now, and through them we can access the Golden Visa via either the classic private fund investment or through our Holborn exclusive hospitality projects, which can reduce the entry capital outlay by offering upfront returns. Number 4 is the classic venture capital fund, requiring a transfer of a minimum of 500K. And the number 5 is a capital transfer of 500K for the reinforcement of share capital of a Portuguese company that creates and maintains jobs. Now we can see on screen the 4 most popular ways in which our clients are using to access the Golden Visa of Portugal this October 2025. Number 1, the one you're already probably familiar with, is the classic investment fund from a minimum of 500K into an applicable regulated fund that has at least a 60% asset allocation in Portugal. Here you have plenty of options with more or less risk strategies. And of course, you have a potential for a great return on investment and return of capital. In the case for hospitality, as we can see on the yellow square in the presentation, these are our exclusive projects at Holborn that we are offering our clients and that most of our clients are using to access the Golden Visa today. As already told, within hospitality, the investment is still going to be 500K, but these projects are going to be paying upfront return, which could lower your entry capital requirement drastically, up to a minimum of 325,000 in the case that you invest into the Navigator hotel chain. So in this particular case, you're going to become this is a share capital investment into the Navigator hotel chain, which is a Portuguese company. They're going to comply with the requirements that I mentioned in the previous slide for you to be able to apply and renew your Golden Visa without any problem. This is demonstrable. We have a lot of clients that have done this successfully. And yes, the other options would be investing into the Navigator with the underlying asset of Solagua Hotel. Here you have the option of either choosing a 500K buyback guarantee or keeping a unit in the hospitality complex. If you invest in the Navigator, you only have the buyback guarantee exit route. You do not have the option of keeping a unit in the complex. In the case of Aqua Praia Lisboa, the financials are a little bit worse, but the location is a lot better. The thing is that this project is off-plan, as you can see in the picture. This is a render. In the case of Solacqua, this is a ready-built and operational hotel. That's actually me that you can see in the picture. So yes, in the case of Agua Praia, you do have a buyback guarantee as well. In all of these hospitality projects, you do have some investor perks regarding minimum stay requirements, which are super interesting because, as you already know, as a Golden Visa holder, you must visit 7 days per year or 14 days every 2 years if you actually want your residency to transform into citizenship at the end of the road. So having these free stays benefits is super, super helpful. Of course, you're going to be traveling to Portugal, so this can save you a lot of money and sorting out your vacations for the next following years. So it's super, super nice to have. So how much do you actually need out of your pocket for each one of these different routes to access the Golden Visa? Of course, in the investment fund, you would need 500K out of pocket. As well, in the case of Agua Praia, you would need the 500K because they are going to be returning 150,000 after 30 days, which is paid as dividends. This cannot be reinvested to lower the entry capital. In the case of Solaco Hotel, you actually have two different options. You can go the option without a loan and getting a 101,000 euros upfront return. And if you actually take the loan, you can lower this to 349 by taking a 50,000 loan on top of your upfront returns. The lowest in the market right now is investing directly into the Navigator collection. And this would have a 175,000 euro upfront return, which would lower your entry capital requirement to 325, which is hands down the lowest in the industry at the moment. I prepared these mind maps to help you understand back to back how the different flow of capital works in all the different routes that I showed before. Starting out with the classic fund investment, here is super straightforward. You would transfer 500,000 from your non-Portuguese account to your new Portuguese account that will be opening for you. This would comply with the requirements for the Portuguese authorities, which are 500K coming outside of Portugal and from your account. Okay, very straightforward. You would then execute the investment, apply, and then after X number of years, you can apply for citizenship. Okay, now in the case of Solaco Hotel, it gets a little bit more interesting because, of course, after opening your NIF account and your new Portuguese account, we would need you to transfer from 349,000 to 399,000 euros to your new Portuguese account, depending on if you decide to go for the loan arrangement or not. For simplicity purposes, we're going to be talking about this in the case that you do not take the loan. So you'd be transferring 399 from your non-Portuguese to your new Portuguese account and investing this into the partner company. After they receive this initial capital, they would pay an upfront ROI of 101,000 euros as an upfront ROI payable outside of Portugal. Okay, remember, your upfront ROI is 101,000 euros, and this is all of the returns that you'll be receiving during the process. All the returns are going to be paid upfront. You're going to be waiving any potential returns for the duration of the process, and you're only going to have the two exit strategies that we discussed before. Number one, having a 500K buyback guarantee, or number two, exchanging your share capital into a unit in the hospitality complex. If you want more information about this, just please feel free to book a free one-on-one call with me, and I can explain you and I can go into detail on how this works. Now, in the case of the Navigator hotel chain, in this case, you are only investing into the hotel chain without the underlying asset of exchanging or having the possibility to exchange into a unit in a hotel. This has the highest upfront ROI of all of the products of 175 payable outside of Portugal once again. So you would need 325 out of your pocket right now to access the project and the program. You'll be transferring 325 to Portugal. After you execute the first part of the investment, they will transfer 175. You can reinvest this into your new Portuguese account, making the full investment of 500K, complying with both requirements that we talked before. After we have the investment executed, we can do all of the paperwork and apply into the authorities. And yes, same story. You would be waiving any kind of return during the 6-year process. All of the returns are going to be paid upfront. In the case of the Navigator hotel chain, you only have the option of a buyback guarantee. In this case, the buyback guarantee is 375,000 euros. In the case of Solacqua, it's 500k. In the case of Navigator, it's 375. So you have higher upfront ROI, but lower buyback guarantee at the end of the process. Okay, so for those clients that go for the Navigator hotel chain, most of them are considering this 175k upfront ROI to comply with the minimum 500k. In this case, this upfront ROI will be reinvested immediately into Portugal, as you saw on the last slide. And all of these finances and all of this model can be simplified into two cash flows. Basically, 325 come out of your pocket today, and after you apply for citizenship, 375 come inside of your pocket. So there is a very slim profit during 6 years, but it is guaranteed. There is no uncertainty. You know from the very, very start you're going to be walking out at the end of the process with a slim profit, but it is guaranteed, and a Portuguese citizenship for you and your family. So there's a 325,000 euro entry capital requirement, which is hands down the lowest in the industry right now, and there is a net cash flow of a positive 50,000 euros with this model. Finally, the case of Aqua Praia. Financials of these projects are a little bit worse than Solacqua, but the location is a lot better. As you might imagine, Solacqua is in Albufeiras, which is a city in the Algarve of Portugal. It's very stationary, so in the summertime it's fully booked, and in the winter it's a little bit dead. In the case of Lisbon, it has tourism year-round, and it's of course a location most clients are comfortable investing in. The only real difference, in addition to the location, is that this project is not completed, so it's being sold off plan. For this particular project, you have to transfer 500,000 from your non-Portuguese to your new Portuguese account, execute the investment, and after 30 days you would be deposited 150k back. So you would need more capital out of your pocket, but you're going to be paid upfront anyways. As well, you have forecast dividends and a forecast appreciation that we can go into details. So please feel free to book a call with me if you're interested in this project, and we can dig deeper into the financials of this project, which is super simplified in this in this slide. Now, talking about the timeline for citizenship with the Portuguese Golden Visa, this is as things stand right now. Please take in consideration that there are discussions taking place actively, especially now in October, regarding any potential changes to the citizenship timeline. So stay tuned to this. I have a specific video covering this, and I will be posting more videos in the following weeks. So stay tuned to what is expected to happen with citizenship and this program. So as things stand right now, as you already saw, if we start today, hypothetically, we should have your application going in within 3 or 4 months. After this, the 5-year clock starts ticking. During these 5 years, we should expect 2 renovations. And after these 5 years pass, you can apply for citizenship. To apply for citizenship, you'll have to show the 5-week minimum stay requirement. So not relocation, only 1 week per year, or 14 days every 2 years. And either a disciple test or a PLA course to comply with the minimum Portuguese proficiency requirement, which is passing an A2. This can be the test or the PLA course for those that are nervous taking this test. Just keep in mind that you can take the test as many times and fail the test as many times as you want. And the PLA course alternatives are a little bit more expensive, but they are guaranteed. So if you comply with having the assistance, you are going to be approved for the PLA route. As things are right now, you should consider the passport in hand between 6 and 7 years. Of course, it's very difficult to foresee how efficient and how fast it is going to be Portugal in handing out the citizenship once you apply for the citizenship in 5 years' time. So yes, as we can see, Portugal's program has many strengths, but speed is not one of them. The immigration agency has been overwhelmed since 2022, but this is something that is being actively solved. The good news is that processing time counts towards citizenship. Please keep in mind that this is likely to change depending on the on how the discussions go for the changes in the law. So stay tuned to what happens with this. And yes, we should consider, if we apply right now with law as it is right now, to be receiving passports in hand between the year 6 and 7. What about taxation? Just keep in mind that Portuguese Golden Visa would grant you residency. This is not the same as tax residency. Tax residency is only applicable if you spend over half a year in Portugal, as most of the European countries. Non-tax residents are not taxed on their worldwide income. Okay, so it's very important for you to keep this in mind. You're only expected to tax on your Portuguese-generated income, and in the case of hospitality, the upfront ROI has no withholding tax on Portugal. Just keep in mind this could tax some tax responsibilities on your current tax residency. Here are important things to consider if you're serious about entering this program. Just keep in mind that the residency has to be renewed every 2 years for you to be able to keep this residency and apply for citizenship at the end of the road. Today, citizenship can be applied after 5 years of continued residency plus A2 proficiency. This could change in the future. We should expect some kind of grandfathering of rights for applications that have been made before. There are application and approval fees to consider per applicant, as you can see on screen. Regarding the investments, reinvestment returns are shown gross before any applicable taxes, so the investor may or may not need to pay taxes on investment returns depending on their current residency or nationality. If you'd like to see this specifically to your case, I would recommend you to book a free call with me and we can go over your specific scenario. And finally, the draft law is under discussion right now that proposes raising the residency requirement for citizenship from 5 years. It is strongly advised for you to start as soon as possible if you are serious about the Portuguese Golden Visa, if you want your best chances to getting your citizenship in the current 5-year period. Perfect, so this wraps up today's video. Thank you all for staying till the end, and if you're serious about this program, I recommend you to grab your phone and scan the QR code on your screen. This will take you to a landing page where you can select a slot on my calendar. I'll be very, very happy to hear your story out and help you decide if the Portuguese Golden Visa or any other Golden Visa is best aligned to your family's needs and goals, and I will be happy to help you move forward. If you are more old school, you can always send me an email. My email is on screen, and of course, you can use this QR code to download our comprehensive Portuguese Golden Visa 2025 guide so you can review. Thank you all for staying. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any video, especially now with the discussions taking place with the future of the Portuguese naturalization law. And so said this, thank you all for staying till the end, and see you on the next video. Bye-bye.